there's a transfer link with someone called Dembele, but it's a different Dembele. It's £30 million rated Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Reports coming out of France, and they've also been picked up by the English press, as you'd expect, that Lyon are now willing to sell the striker, who he has had a good little spell there at Lyon. The last couple of seasons he's been relatively prolific, but this season hasn't been his greatest. And there's reports that they're actually looking to sell him for around £30 million, which in today's market is a bit of a bargain. West Ham reportedly interested in him, but so are United, and it looks like the two clubs could go head to head, possibly in January, to try and sign the striker. I mean, you might look at it and go, why are Manchester United going up against West Ham for a player? That sort of sends alarm bells ringing, because you'd think that, no disrespect to West Ham United, but the sort of teams and clubs that should be battling United for players are the likes of, City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, not clubs like West Ham. But that's where we're at, and maybe that's a little bit of an indication at the levels that United are at a minute. I don't want to get too carried away with our poor start to the season, but we need to improve. Now, you might look at it as well and go, well, we've got Edinson Cavani, we've got Andy Martial, we've got Marcus Rashford, we've got Mason Greenwood. Do we need another striker? But Dembele is 24, Edinson Cavani is 33. Dembele would be a sort of a longer term option, so maybe there is a little bit of truth to that. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. A lot may depend on whether West Ham go in for him in January, where United are in January. Do we need reinforcements? Do we need to bring someone in? Do we need another attacker? And will he be willing to come here and possibly sit on the bench? Because the likelihood is, if he does come here, he won't start. The likelihood is he'll have to sort of battle for not a place on the bench, but to be one of our sort of leading substitutes, if you will, with players like Cavani ahead of him, who's obviously just got off the mark as well at Goodison this weekend, which was great to see. So it's one to keep an eye on. We will keep an eye on it. Sort of makes sense in a way, but we'll see. It's one of those where if it happened, you wouldn't be shocked, but if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world, is it really? Because, like I said, he's had a couple of good seasons in League One. He had a good spell at Celtic. It's debatable whether he could bring that sort of form to the Premier League, although at 24 you'd expect him to kick on a little bit and improve. Sergio Romero is training alone as he hopes for a January move after 100,000 a week fourth choice goalkeepers into Miami switch fell through. Stories here in the press that Sergio Romero is sort of what's the word, persona non grata at United, that he's training on his own, training with the Resis even or whatever, because he's not part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, and he's not got the move that he wanted. Now, we know he wasn't happy in the summer transfer window. He wanted a move. It looked like he was going to go to Inter Miami. It looked like at one point he was going to go to Everton. Neither of those two moves happened. His missus was fuming. She took to social media to have a dig at the club. Now, I feel sorry for Sergio Romero. I do. I get the fact that it's a difficult thing, because Manchester United selling him to Everton, you might look at it and go, well, Everton may end up challenging for the top 4 this season. If we give them a player that helps them to do that, is that undermining our efforts? I mean, can you imagine if we'd sold him Romero and he had a stormer at the weekend and got them 3 points?